So perception is reality. People don't want to work with somebody that doesn't know what they're doing. I mean, it's one of the biggest transactions of your life, financially, and in a lot of ways. So it's a lot of faith that's involved. But whenever you put out there, hey, look at this new listing, that's awesome. It's not her listing, but they don't need to know that, and you don't need to tell them either. So that's a wonderful thing about our brokerage, is that we can all market each other's properties, which helps everybody. It helps the newbies that need something to market. It helps the listing agent, because every time that it gets shared, their reach doubles or triples, or however you want to look at that. And you know, it helps everybody is the point. So she's been posting. Let's see, this was March 19th, March 17th, March 16th, consistently, March 15th. So I would say one post a day. There's Matt. I would say one post a day.
But she's having so much fun doing it, and she hasn't sold a thing yet. But even if she hasn't sold a thing, the public thinks she's already killing it.
Right.
And that she's busy.
Like,
and that she has
man,
clients. And
you hit the ground running.
But
But
don't
once-
know that she's active
Yes.
and she's selling.
Right,
She's
yeah.
supposedly selling stuff, so
It's confidence. You have to
exactly.
win
It's
their
confidence.
confidence.
Yeah.
And I forget who I was talking to. It was Lisa. Whenever Lisa, I was training a little bit a couple weeks ago, and I told her, you know, your sphere of influence is watching you right now to see if you're going to make it or not. Because there is like an 80+% failure rate in real estate, they're watching to see if you're going to fly or sink. So,
They judge it.
even if they want to use you, it's like, oh, Aunt Susie needs to buy a house, but she's a little bit nervous to use me because I'm brand new, and I mean, I understand. Well, but as she's posting stuff like this, she's won Aunt Susie, and that's been communicated to her. Like, wow, Lisa, you hit the ground running. You were rocking and rolling. I mean, it's still going. And I do think there's power in mixing the personal with the. Okay, that was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
Sure.
going to say, one thing that Lisa needs to do a better job of, so Lisa, if you're watching this, mix in some personal in between your business,
Yeah.
so it's not so
Like-
businessy.
Like kids. People
Yeah.
love
kids,
People love the kids.
animals.
Break it out.
So this was her first post. So this was whenever I was meeting with her, and I said, "You're a secret agent right now. We need to come out of your little shell, let everybody know." And this is when I had that same conversation. And I'm sorry, Lisa, I should have asked your permission before we dove into you in your personal.
I picked you,
business.
Lisa. He can blame me.
And I said that same thing. Your sphere's watching to see if you're gonna make it or not. So let's make sure that they know that you're doing this. It's real. You're successful. Just speak it into existence. So that was the 17th, 18th. As I told her, one a day. 18th, two that day. 19th. 21st, skipped one, but hey, that's okay. 22nd, overall, she's doing really good.
You also don't want to. I feel like you don't want to flood.
See, I don't
Too
do
much.
it every day. I do it every other day
Well,
because
I-
I do feel like
Yeah.
that is too much.
Well,
but
this
I
is
mean,
her-
she is a new agent.
Well, yeah.
so-
Well, and this is her personal page. So what I do
yeah.
is I do everything on Instagram, and then I just have it post to my Facebook. So if it's personal, I'll let it go at the same time because then that goes to my personal page. And if it's business, I won't let it go to Facebook, and then I'll go and do a separate post and just copy and paste with the same graphic. But I try to do business, personal, business, personal, business, personal. Well, that one's business. Business, business, personal, business.
Personal business. Personal slash.
So I mean, it's not
Yeah.
perfect, but the point is that's my everyday is every day on Instagram. It may not be every day on my business Facebook page. And there's no right or wrong way to do it, so long as you're doing it. just don't be afraid to not do it. Like, don't be like so self-conscious about it that you just don't do anything. You know what I mean? You need to do it. Okay, let's think what else we can talk about. Google My Business. I have not had any. It did update my address. So, did you ever get a postcard, Matt?
Yes.
I don't know how to do this.
I think mine went pretty quick.
Google Business Profile?
Yeah. So, if you have a Gmail, you have this, and you should be utilizing it. So, at the end of the day, Google rules the world. Google is the #1 search engine. It's the #1 website ever, everywhere. And I actually have a tool for this.
I
So,
set mine up and then never used it.
so Google is ranked #1.
Oh, wow. That is something.
And then similar sites are YouTube, which Google owns, if you didn't know. Facebook is #3, Wikipedia is #4, Instagram is #5, Amazon's #6. So these are all your global rankings in the United States, and those are global rankings. So the point being is Google is doing something right, and you need to be on their platforms. That's why Google Gmail is important to use. That's why YouTube is important to use. That's why Google My Business is important to use. And then Facebook being the third. So if you're on the top 3 and skip Wikipedia, and then you're on number 5. So 4 out of the top 5 websites in the planet, that's a win, and use it. So Miranda, do you want me to show you where to get this?
Mm-hmm.
So from your Google, like your Gmail,
Okay.
in the upper right hand corner, right here where those 9 dots are,
Yep.
click it, and then one of them should say Business Profile or My Business, with a little awning like that. Do you see that? So it's kind of a 2-step process, because the way that Google works is you'll like initiate your profile, and then they will send you a postcard to validate your physical address. Joe, have you done this? You should. Please. Put it on your list. David, have you done this?
I haven't. Where do you see it? It's on Google Business
I can't find it.
under the waffle. I don't see it.
It should be an icon for.
Scroll down.
Finance docs. More from Google. Go to more from Google.
No,
That's what we're
we
on
went
now,
there
but-
and it didn't do anything.
How about just do a Google search? Say Google My Business. Google Business Profile, get listed on Google.
Okay.
Google My Business. What do you see?
Initiate it first.
Add your business to Google.
Okay, that sounds good. What do you see?
Stand out with a free Google Business Profile.
Like mine's Kendall Waylet Realtor.
Do it.
Waters Edge Realty.
Once,
On my website?
No, like, she wants to know what's her business name. So like mine's, I think Kendall Waylet Realtor at Waters Edge Realty, I think is what it
This is not it. You're not going to Yelp. Well, like I just have Marcus Walker Realtor, Waters Edge Realty.
Yeah, you can do that. So, Random Erie, Realtor, dash Waters Edge Realty.
And the only reason why I put Realtor in there is because search engine optimization. So if somebody just Googles Realtor, I might not pop at the top, but I'll be on the list.
Create a business with this name?
Mm-hmm.
So once y'all get that done, you'll get your postcard in the mail, and then we can go through the next steps.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not very good about posting on this, but I will go a little while, and then I'll go through, and what I'll do is I'll just go through my Instagram, and I'll be like, okay, well the last one I posted was that property, so let me go find it. It was right here. So then I need to post this one. So then I'll go post that one, and then I need to post this one, and I'll go post that one, and then like I'll just do them in bulk. I think it does the same thing there's not a ton of, so Google tried to have their own social media and it flopped. They called it Google Plus or something. They're just trying to get into too many lanes. Like, just stay where you are, and obviously I can't control what they do, but I think that's what they determined is they need to stay what they're good at. And they do everything almost. So why also do you need to be a social media platform? Whatever. But I do think that, so whenever people Google me, so just say Marcus Walker Realtor, it just pops up on the right over here. So these pictures, if they click on this, it has your reviews. So just like we had talked about in the previous year or so, Zillow has entered our workspace. What's a good alternative to Zillow reviews that would not be sending clients to our competitor? Google reviews are great. Boomtown has a reviews section that's great. Did I say the right thing? Boomtown? Yes. And then, so whenever you click into my profile, it'll have all those other pictures too.
I have a question, Marcus. I'm
What's
sorry
that?
to stop you, but this happened to Miranda and David. So we're in here creating their profiles, and both of them said that they already have a profile. Is it because we're picking the Water's Edge address? Like, should we not pick?
It must be because I just got the email. It says ownership request for Water's Edge Realty.
I
We
think
sent your
we need to
request for
put-
ownership to the current owner. So I guess that's because I put that the address is Water's Edge Realty.
I think so. For example, if you visit or deliver.
I mean, it's no different than what we've done.
It just has to be the physical address.
I know, but I
Like-
put the physical address in there, and then
And then it popped up,
Oh,
would you
that's
like
what
to
it
claim
generated.
Water's Edge
Oh.
Realty?
That same thing happened at the other place.
I don't remember that happening.
you
But
might have did
there's
it
a way to
before
bypass that.
Water's Edge
Maybe.
had claimed it.
Yeah.
I don't
Because
know.
we had to fight to get it
Well,
fixed.
oh, that's right. We were running into issues with maybe Manic.
No.
Manic was one of the ones we had issues with.
Well, we'll troubleshoot that. But the point is, you need to be using Google My Business. We can troubleshoot and get everything resolved. What do you guys think about Canva? Is that okay to go into a little bit?
Yeah.
So obviously Canva is not a social media platform, but it's where you create visually appealing content to post on social media. So I'll just give you a couple of quick options. Let me make a copy of this, of how you can make things look appealing. So kind of like what where we started the conversation
What
with,
is that?
let's say you have
Thank you.
Yeah, keep going.
a logo like this. So this is all I have. It doesn't have a clear background. It's white. So, some realtors will post something like this, where it just sticks out. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't blend in. It sticks out. Kind of like what we were talking about at the very beginning, without saying names. Solution to this is you can take where I have this background here as like this bluish color. If you change it to white, and you can kind of move stuff out, and then as simple as that, it now fades in, minus this little bump. So we're going to take the image and we're going to push it to the back. So you say position backwards, and now it cropped that little bit of extra behind it, behind the picture that we wanted. So whereas before it looked like a a sore thumb. Oh gosh. A sore thumb sticking out. Just something as simple as that. Just put it, match the background with the background of your logo, and then push it to the back so that it is clean. So I know that's a silly little thing, but it makes a big difference. It makes you look more professional, in my opinion. Get one shot at a first impression. So I would recommend getting clear backgrounds.
You can also remove, well, if you have Canva Pro, you can remove the background of any image.
That's right. If you
Yeah.
So I don't. I just use the free, and if you want to pay the whatever fee, more power to you. I can manage decently well without having to pay for it, and I'm super cheap. But like all of our logos, we have supplied to us the logos with the clear background. But it goes back to kind of where we started the conversation. Was the point of doing anything is to communicate. So like what Miranda was saying, if you're going to have a dark background, get a light font or a light text,
Contrast.
so that it's high contrast. So I know like this logo here is visually appealing and kind of trendy with the light on light, but it's really difficult to read. But if the objective is just to be in compliance and not for legibility, I understand that. But I mean, and I get that. I get that sometimes you want to reference maybe like the listing brokerage, and you don't want it to be real noticeable, but you still want to be in compliance. I get that. But
I love that logo.
I love this logo also, but against our blue. So this is Water's Edge blue. So let's dive into that a little bit. Do y'all know that you can color match stuff like that?
Yes.
So I highly recommend you do that. If you don't know how to do that, here I can show you real quick. So there's a couple different ways. Let's look.
Do you have yours set up as a brand?
No, because I don't have the plus or the paid for. I don't have the pro. I have the cheap one.
I didn't realize that was a plus.
It is. I do have brand colors, but my brand colors have changed. So I've been using Canva long enough that this didn't used to be a pro add-on, but since then it has become an add-on, and my brand colors have changed. But whenever you click into the colors, it pulls right here the colors that are in all of your everything that's on the screen. So like my logo here, I'll just throw it in here so I can show you. This blue, I set it up whenever I created my logo that it matches the Water's Edge blue. So if you don't see it here on the photo colors, you can go to see all, and then it'll show up right there. So that's the hex code for that color. So right now I'm clicked on this this kind of interesting object here, and the only reason why I used it was just to be interesting, just to kind of catch your attention.
up, yeah.
Right.
I thought it was a magnolia tree at first.
So it's actually like a smear that I blew up. So it's like a line that I just blew up really big.
Different shapes.
But so you can change it to whatever color you want and move it around whatever you want. But the point was so you can set it up to the brand colors. I also have the hex codes for all of the Water's Edge colors, and it's on Broker Mint also, that you can pull it there for quick reference. If you want to just copy and paste it in, you can do that right here. Add new color, and you can just paste in that whatever color you want, so it can jive. You don't have to do that. Just my, I think it brings a level of professionalism.
With repetitive colors.
Right, consistent.
Yeah,
Consistency
consistent.
builds brands. So all of us are building this brand, the Water's Edge brand, but then also your personal brand. I think that's enough for Canva. Unless y'all have specific questions, we can move on to something else.
I have a Kindle question. I know we have to plug the brokerage, the listing brokerage and all that now. Does it need to be in the graphic and in the verbiage, or can it just be in the verbiage?
It can just be in the verbiage.
As long as it's on the
It just
post.
has to be on the post.
Okay,
And if you're doing stories, it has to be within 2 to 3 clicks. So like, let's say that you went and showed a house this weekend,
Yeah.
right? You're like, oh my God, this has the best views, I want to take some pictures, it has the best fireplace. So when you're on your stories, and you took 3 pictures, it's gotta be on one of those 3 pictures.
Okay.
Not all 3.
Okay.
It has to be within a few clicks of your stories.
gotcha. Cool.
I said I was gonna be done, and then now I've got something else to say. So
So keep going.
I use the same kind of templates because whenever you're starting from scratch, it can be exhausting to think of something else to do. I mean, I don't know if y'all noticed, but it's like the same 5 or 6 kind of ideas over and over again. So I just got my Lake Forest under contract. I haven't used this one in a while, so I'm going to make a copy. That brings it back up to the top. And then, so again, our colors have changed. So I'm going to take that logo out. Under uploads, I've got my new logo here and
You're so
resize
much
it.
better with that logo, Marcus.
Thank you. And then the background color too is the wrong shade of like light teal. So I do this all the time, so it's just in my notes. So once you click on whatever you want to change the color of, go to the color, add a new color, and it's a slight difference. My brand colors were pretty similar, but just slightly different. So take out that picture and upload the picture of the house, which
Upright.
is, yep, thank you, ma'am. So the point is, once you have it kind of set up, it can be super quick and easy to just implement the new content on what you already have, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have to start over from fresh every time. So this under contract doesn't really make sense. Like, you can't quite read it because there's just too much busy. So I'm gonna kind of play with it a little bit until I'm happy with it. And it might be that the under contract needs to go, instead of being on the top, it needs to go in the grass, where it's more, see, but then my face is gonna be in the way.
So right on it.
So I'm gonna make it smaller. You can still see the whole house. And I have this under contract grouped, so it stays, it's slightly, the under is bigger than the contract, which is a little bit smaller, but I did that on purpose. All right, so now the house is over top of my face, so you just go to position, and you say forward. Nope, you say backwards, not forwards, excuse me. So now I'm in front of the house. It's just, once you play with it enough, you'll get comfortable enough with it. And I just poke around until I'm happy with what it looks like. Right now, I'm not happy with this.
I
So,
don't like your car showing either.
right. Well, we can crop it out.
I think, you want to show your trick on that? Instead, double click on the image and you can stretch the image within the frame.
Oh, yeah.
See, and like drag the bottom corner instead now. Of the bigger image around it.
Like that?
So, like, stretch your screen so you have your car in it now. So double click it like you did. Instead of dealing with the image that's showing, deal with the part that's faded out. So go down to the bottom left-hand corner or that top left corner and stretch that. No, like the little dot that's in the far corner. Pull. And pull.
There you go. Perfect.
That's it.
Yeah.
So you can scale, that's how you're able to scale and move an image that's a larger image. Much better.
So I'll come back and mess with it because I'm not 100%. It's getting there, but I'm not all the way
That
there.
was a lot better, yeah.
But point is, you just kind of poke around until you're happy with it. You can add stuff. They have elements that you can add if it's because it's kind of flat. I'd probably want to change the effects here because this is the wrong blue. So I'm gonna make it the right blue. Oop, and I only did the contract, so I gotta do it again. So, business profile on Facebook versus personal profile. I do think that there is a lot to say about having a business profile. Just in, gonna have like a.
The weird seeing yourself teach as you teach.
I think there's just some validity in having a business profile. The same idea as having like your Google My Business. It's just if somebody goes to and looks you up, they want to make sure that you're legit, that you're working, that you have experience, that you have testimonials. I mean, it's just, I think that's just kind of our world, is people just go and search you before they connect or commit to you. So my reach is a lot better on my personal page. So what I do because of that is I posted this one this morning on Rick's listing that we saw today. So this is the straight from my Boomtown. So it's generating leads if people click through it. And one thing that I think makes a big difference is sharing it to groups. So I know Ailey created a sheet of like days of the week that you can post in each group. I just don't care because I'm just going to post it everywhere on my time, on my calendar. And if they don't approve it, okay, that's fine. And then honestly, if they stop approving my posts, I'll just leave the group. Because if it's not working for me, why am I supporting them? Like, why am I going to contribute to their viewership if they're not going to let me contribute? So that's just my approach. I'm not going to take the time. I mean, obviously the work's already done, and if you want to go and check in and post every day.
There's only like 3 or 4 groups in our area that actually limit.
Yeah.
And one of them is What's Happening in Fairhope, so that's the one I'm pretty careful. And Daphne limits as well.
I don't put.
There's a Spanish Fort one too.
So
like
yeah,
only on
so
Saturdays.
that was a little careful for just
Those
because
are
those have
definitely meals.
so much reach. I don't want to get banned.
I had somebody the other
But
day call me and wanted to actually text me, want to know about a property, and I'm like, well, I'm not the listing agent for this property.
So,
Oh, well, I saw you on Facebook,
Yeah.
and you were associated to this property and your name as the listing agent. I'm like, well, awesome, but it's not me. So how does that get lost in the shuffle with Facebook? How did that end up under me and my number, and I'm not even affiliated with the property?
was it one of our listings?
Mm-mm.
Oh,
I mean, if somebody calls and asks you about a property, you don't have to say I'm not the listing agent. You just
Yeah,
say,
but she was wanting, to have more questions about it, and I was like, well,
And then you would just say, hey, let me look into that for you.
Are you looking to look, are you wanting to look at the property? I'm happy to show you the property
Yeah.
and contact the listing
No.
agent to answer this question.
But
Yeah.
but she said that I was the listing agent on
They don't
Facebook
know.
They don't
with
know.
my number and my name.
It was just probably some kind of advertisement.
It's probably some kind of
I get
That's great
spam
for me.
texts
I mean,
from
It could have been,
Facebook.
it could have been
I
the
don't know if it's
Boomtown
from
State
Facebook,
thing.
but
You're
it's
on
saying,
Leap Generation.
I saw your ad or something, and then I'll say,
Fake it till you make it. You should have owned
well, what was the
that.
address to the property?
Converted
And then
it.
they never respond because it's something
As
that
in
tries to
just,
get you
like,
to click on a
converted her to a
link.
buyer
I
of
thought
Yeah.
she was.
There's-
I thought she was.
Marcus, do you
more
think that you're
information.
getting more clicks and more lead generation from posting a link directly to?
Oh, she was an agent.
She was an agent.
That's
what I'm saying, yeah.
With a link.
That's a
She,
whole
yeah,
other-
she. That's what I'm saying. She was an
Yeah.
agent. So I said, well,
If it's
how
my
did you get?
listing,
How did I get?
I'll do a graphic. If it's not my listing, I won't. Just because
Yeah.
Do you see a difference though? Because I tend to, because like, I don't know, I just like pretty stuff. And so like, I tend, and I have graphics that it takes me 2 minutes to drop them in and create the graphic. But and I haven't tried this, but I'm curious with Boomtown, because I know my previous, I didn't get a lot of clicks when I posted directly.
I mean, people don't like to register on websites. They don't. And then that's whenever you'll get the jack type situations, you know? If they don't want to give you their information, they won't.
I'm just
Jack,
wondering if you get more clicks when it's a click through. When you click
Fake
through
name,
like
like
that,
spam.
or just you know.
well, so long as the link is there and it's easy for them to click, so how are you connecting the link to your graphic?
Okay.
All right, now I'm not. That's my question.
Well,
It's in
that's-
the info.
Because I think people are
Yeah.
gonna click the picture more than a link.
That's-
So if they
I was
click this
doing it that
picture,
way.
it'll go straight, take them
Right.
to,
That's my question.
Website?
If you're seeing a difference.
Yes.
I'm not.
Yeah. That definitely.
But I do think
Look at
that
the area
there,
button.
I do think that there is, it's,
Oh, through your business page, you can do that.
I like to just switch it up.
Yep.
So like this was my listing, so I posted just 3 pictures that I personally think were the highlights of the house.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Exterior, I really like the staircase, and this is my favorite part of the house with the deck. Y'all saw it at Caravan today. So I did the 3 cluster, I did an infographic, I did a link. So I think you just have to switch it up and not have just one thing.
Mhm.
That's my
I
opinion.
think I agree with him. I think when you do the same thing every time, it's more boring, repetitive.
It's easier to just tune it out.
Yeah.
I was gonna say something.
I wanted to say something. So you know how Brett has kind of done the stuff for y'all in Canva, then you can go market it,
Which is awesome.
which is very, very awesome. But it's also a little repetitive. So I don't know, is there a way for them to like remove a picture and add a different picture in, or change up the verbiage
Yeah.
a little bit?
I had multiple people that were not agents and be like, that's way too much, Miranda. I was like, well, that's why I didn't post it, so don't come at me.
But I think it's.
It was great for especially like agents who maybe aren't like I'm not
Every
super.
single person in this agency did that.
I'm not super.
Same
I'm not
Posted
super.
the
Brett
listing?
thing, yeah.
Yeah, like I'm not super
everyone.
marketing brain. So like for me, I would love something like that where you already created and I get to go post
Yeah.
it. But at the same time, I think if you don't make any changes to it,
Yeah.
and it's all going out within the same 5 to 10, 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of us have a lot of overlapping of the same
Friends.
people that we know, whether
Yeah.
they're realtors or just the public.
Yeah.
So I think when she does those graphics, it's great as your
Oh.
template, but tweak it. We need to
It's
help.
bad.
Yeah, we need to help her.
I was hoping she would
Yeah.
be here,
Yeah.
but we can talk about it.
Yeah, we're still live. Okay, so any other questions, and then we can bring that up.
Oh, John Bongiorno did say, can I book a private lesson on social media?
Yeah,
I guess
John,
with you,
I got
Marcus.
you.
Marcus is your mentor, John. Sounds like a plan.
We can do it. Hey, real quick before we change gears. Kind of like what you were saying, where we do have a lot of repeat or overlapping sphere. I think the best thing that we can do that's free to get more eyes on a listing is shares to groups. So I wrote this post, I did this post, and I shared it to 41 groups.
What are all your groups?
Yeah, mine usually go to about 40, yeah, they're down to 40.
So
I
you
have that
can,
sheet.
yeah. If you go to my website, you can click that where it says 41 shares, and it'll show
I guess I
you
can
everything
pick
that I
that.
shared it to.
Okay.
But that's kind of like what I was saying before. If you, I got distracted, but if you can go and see like what all their rules are. I don't do that. I just post it everywhere, and if they kick me out, I don't care. That's just
Lowest personality, I don't care.
I just don't have the time to go through and know the rules for every
I
different
get
group.
it.
So I'm just going to share it. If they
That's
kick
all
me
I
out,
do.
then they'll kick me out.
Mm-hmm.
But sharing to groups increases your reach exponentially
Yes.
because you don't even have to be friends with those people. So whenever, that's one of the biggest things about doing stories or reels. Huh?
What's your engagement count on that?
6805?
6805.
Engagements.
Oh.
691.
691.
That's really good engagement. The engagement's normally not that high.
Well, thank you. We can talk about that too. So, let me finish my thought though. So, you don't have to be friends with these people. If they're in the same group that you're in, they're seeing it. But that's also where it's so powerful with stories and reels. You don't have to be friends with those people. It's just on those platforms, the stories and the reels, it feeds off of like the first 5 seconds or whatever. So if you get good engagement immediately, then it's going to post it to more people and more people and more people if your engagement is high. But you don't have to be connected with those people at all. They're just people. But that's where it can be really powerful. But for Facebook posts, I personally don't like stories and reels just because to me it's like Tourette's. You can't build on it whenever it disappears after 24 hours. And TikTok, and I know I've shared that with y'all. That's just my personal
I do
opinion.
disagree because almost all my closings from last year were from me doing stories. So
Yeah. I think it's
I guess it
It's
just
just-
depends
it's just
what
my
works.
April's
opinion.
also gotten
What-
on stories.
what
If you
works.
work your story, it's what you work.
Yeah.
If you work your stories,
Yeah.
it will work. If you work your
Uh-huh.
post, it will work. Mine, I work post and it works great.
And it's how you can get the engagement of people to click on your story.
Mm.
Like as far as if you ask a question or a vote or a poll, doing a poll, that gets people interaction, and then they kind of get into your DMs, kind
Yeah.
of thing, you know.
And all of this stuff is changing all the time, and
Yeah.
I'm an old dog, is the long and short of
Well,
it.
there's so many different ways you can work it to
Yeah.
depending on how you are, you know,
Yeah.
each individual person.
Okay, so back to the engagement part. So, whenever somebody comments on your stuff, like it and comment. Like that's my mom. But Facebook doesn't care that it's my mom.
Mm-hmm.
They just see somebody commented.
Okay.
And then I try to go back and reply to every person's comment.
Yeah.
So, but that's kind of like how Brett was saying the other day on GroupMe. It's like, hey, this just posted. Go comment, go like it, go share it, blah blah blah. It's for that reason, because the more engagement that you get, the more people will see it. The more Facebook will show it to people, because all the system sees is whatever this person just posted is important. So we're going to show it to more people because of the comments that it's had. So it's really cool that we can all help each other in that. So Joe posts something. Do I need to go check out your Facebook?
I haven't posted anything.
Yep, Joe's a secret agent. Let's go check him out.
How dare
Joe.
you?
I haven't posted anything.
Are you going to now?
Yes.
Okay.
So I have a
What's your
question.
last name, Joe? There you are.
So I wanted to say this. So this is one of the things that kind of goes back to the newer agents. If they are not,
You posted
Oh, there you
that?
go, you did
Yeah.
post.
There we go. No.
if they are not marketing brain focused, is there a way in Canva we could create like for example when we have the Canva class, can we create some generic graphics
Yes.
that they can
I already
just
have them.
in their own and they can
Sure.
just go in and tweak them?
Yes.
So if you are not if you have no interest in creating in Canva and all of that, Etsy is your best friend. There are templates galore on Etsy, and that you can buy.
We can
20
make templates.
We
But
can make
them.
templates for free, but you can buy 25 templates for $5. Go in, change the brand instantaneously to be our brand colors, and then you just drop in the info, and you have 25 that you can mix up. I bought them. I'll share them.
Yeah, but you're marketing brain focused. So
I'll
now if I go and try to go to Etsy, that's gonna feel overwhelming to me
Yeah,
because
that's just
I'm
one
not
more step.
marketing
And
Well,
brain
it's
for
gonna
me,
cost
I
money.
have them though. I'll share them.
Okay.
I've shared them to, like, I have some that are shared by 15 people. I log in and they're like the wrong company's colors because it's somebody that I shared them with last year.
Yeah, so I think that if we could create, even if it was like, I don't know, 5 to 10 generic templates for all the people who are not into all of that, but it will look good, it's good for social media. So if Joe or Meg or Lisa or whoever, Megan, I don't know which ones are marketing based, but they can just go grab what they want,
Mhm.
tweak it, and they're just tweaking. That's so much easier than actually creating.
We can absolutely do that.
Hey, Miss Debbie. All right, do you want me to, you have anything to add to the class? If not, I'm gonna stop the live.
Okay. Yeah, I think we're good.
Okay. Matt, will you hit that live?
Thank you.